So Galia, I believe that we are all very curious to hear what you have as a partner and a well-known fintech VC have to say about the current market climate. And the question is, how do investors dress and act in light of the current market climate, and how does it affect companies' global expansion?
Yes, thank you for the question. So to build on many of the good points that were mentioned here today, I also see downturn as an opportunity. And markets behavior usually is as a cycle, and we're currently at the lower end of the cycle. Hard to predict precisely when this will end, but for sure we can look at the future and see the next month to come. A lot of the noise that we've seen in 2020 and 2021 calm down, and the good companies that actually have a product market fit and have customers and are addressing a true need will prevail. I think it's up to investors right now to support the companies that they have in their portfolio in terms of, advice, strategy, and funding. This is usually what investors will do. They're going to double down on the existing companies that they have in their portfolio and help them prevail. We saw this also happening in the early days of COVID around 2020. I think now we're seeing the effect mostly in late stage. This will hit early stage at some point as well. Investors will have a little bit more power or the ability to have more severe criteria for investments. When it comes to growth, I think a few things. One, focus. Focus is probably the most important thing. So to build up again, I think companies now need to understand what is their product, the proposition that actually addresses the need, clean out all the additional or extracurricular activity, and figure out a way to actually bring this to the market. I think it's about efficiency, extending burn rate, and runway and reducing burn rate, and making sure that you come at the best position possible to the next funding round. And I think it's about I would say, when you think about global expansion, there are several ways to do it. Definitely going direct to the market, developing everything is a way, but as mentioned by Hanan, when you go into a new market, there are concerns about trust, especially in the financial industry. There are concerns about consumer behavior, cultural changes that you need to do. And I think, taking a different approach can be interesting. So shortcuts, I like that word. What are the shortcuts that are available for startups? First off, M&As, right? So all the companies that have acquired, raised a lot of money in 2021 can now use this money and benefit from the lower valuations of startups to acquire and accelerate their expansion into a specific market. And the second is really partnership. So cooperation is very big in the fintech industry. We all compete with one another and we all collaborate with one another. So that's definitely one way to do it. And I think it ties also to a very big trend that we've seen in fintech, which is embedded finance, which is kind of a hyper partnership, right? And it creates a win-win situation for both the company that's embedding and the company that's extending a new proposition. And finally, I will say, when we talk about global expansion, us Israelis always tend to look at the US and Europe, which is great, fantastic markets, but it's a big world out there. So look at Asia, look at Africa, look at Latin America, all markets that have a lot to offer when it comes to the adoption of new fintech and financial technologies.